Hi, I'm Michaela with Michaela's Counseling. Lately, I've been doing some videos about attachment styles, using actually the show The Bachelor as a launching point to start discussing those. I want to do a video right now about how you can actually support somebody who has what we'd call an insecure attachment style. I'm going to talk particularly today about how you support somebody who is possibly who you're perceiving as needy, somebody who's clinging to you, somebody who is insecure, and can play out in a couple different ways. One is like a lot of need for reassurance, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, a lot of kind of need that almost seems to build on itself. Like it feels like a need that can't be met from your end. That can be really frustrating. I think most of us have been on one side or the other of that kind of relationship equation, right? And then another way that that can actually play out for some people, these people often wind up being diagnosed with something like borderline personality disorder, is that not only is the person clingy or really asking for a lot from you, there's an anger that goes with it at the same time. So there's a book about borderline. It's called "I Hate You, Don't Leave Me." Okay, so if you're in a relationship with somebody who's either just really asking a lot from you, or who maybe has some of those signs too of somebody who's asking for a lot from you and also gets hostile and maybe gives you mixed signals, there's an approach that's been developed to actually to communicate with these people in a way that actually helps them to feel more of a sense of themselves. Really, it helps them to find where your boundaries are without feeling abandoned. So it's I think you can find this tip in the book "Stop Walking on Eggshells," which there are a variety of reasons that I don't really strongly recommend that book very often, but it does lay out a pretty good format for supporting somebody who's asking you for more than you're actually able to give, or who's maybe escalating into some kind of destructive behavior that you really can't stand for, but you don't want them to feel abandoned either. So, by the way, I bring up this abandonment thing because it is such a fundamental fear for people who are clinging, for people who are feeling insecure, and even for people who have this clingy slash fight kind of reaction going on. There's a real fear of abandonment, and one of the really sad things that starts happening with them is often they end up. Getting abandonment. They end up being on the receiving end of abandonment. It's a self fulfilling prophecy where they're deeply afraid that they're unlovable or that they're too much for somebody else. And then they start demonstrating behavior that seems to indicate, hey, I'm too much. And other people walk out on them, and it is an incredibly painful cycle. And it doesn't actually help that person to move forward. And obviously, it doesn't help their relationships. And often there are ways to work with this. And so I'm going to teach you this three-step format, okay? It's the acronym for it is SET, S-E-T. You offer support, you offer empathy, and then you tell them the truth. I'd call that like setting a boundary, okay? And with folks who are taking more than you're able to give, if all you do is you empathize and support them, you've probably discovered that doesn't really work. But if all you do is set boundaries with them, it's going to create a distance in your relationship that may not feel that awesome for either of you. So this three-step format really helps them to both have the empathy and your boundaries, so that hopefully things can move forward. So, when you're giving support, I want to come back again to the fact that the person in your life who's clinging is probably desperately afraid that you're going to leave. And sometimes you probably have an impulse to get some distance from them, and it's an understandable dynamic. But in the support phase, what you want to do, if you can do this genuinely, is tell them that you are here for them. You do care about them. And if you can, tell them that you're not actually planning to leave them. You know what I just realized is when you say, I'm not really planning to leave you, that can actually sound like I'm not planning at this moment to leave you. So tweak the wording. But what you want to do is assure them that you're there for them, you're here for them, you want to be here for them. Okay. So that's support. It's letting them know that you're going to be present. Okay. We'll get to the boundary after the empathy step. And with empathy, you don't want to say that you understand exactly how this person is feeling. You probably don't, but you want to provide some kind of empathic statement saying, I see how difficult this is for you, or wow, as we've been talking the last few days, I can really hear how much agony that you're in. Okay, empathy for the bind that they're in. If they're in some kind of bind where they're both reaching out to you and they're angry at you somehow, like they're in this battle, you can provide some empathy for that and say, yeah, I see that you're feeling a lot of push pull, and I see how difficult it is for you to be in this conversation right now. I see how difficult it is for you when when you call me and I can't get back to you right away. I get that that's really scary. Okay, so you want to do this genuinely and offer some feedback, some mirroring, really, of what they are feeling. And if you're not sure, find out if you're getting it right. You can ask them. You can say, "Is that what's happening? I mean, are you feeling really afraid right now?" So that's empathy, and then there's the truth part. Okay, so here's where you get to set your boundary, and this is going to help you and it's going to help the other person. So you've already said, I'm here for you, not planning to go anywhere, and I see what a difficult time that you're having. This must be so difficult, I can't even really imagine. Okay, or whatever the words are for that. And now you're going to do the truth thing. I'm here for you, and I can talk to you for an hour a day. I can talk to you for an hour a week. I can talk with you pretty much as you'd like, but you can't hit me. You can't yell at me and scream at me for not being here, if I'm not there, the minute that you call. And so this is where you really isolate the behaviors that they're doing that are just driving you up a wall, right? And you put limits on those behaviors. And so that person is going to get a sense of your support, and you're going to be able to support them in a more maintainable way. So before you do this with the person in your life, you might want to take some time with yourself and just really see if you can get into a frame of empathy for the other person, and also have empathy for yourself and the struggle that you're in. And notice like what boundaries you need to set, like what boundaries are going to help you to feel safer in that relationship, really. And let that relationship grow if that's what you want to do. And so, support, empathy, truth. You can read more about this and Stop Walking on Eggshells, and I'll write more about it on a post I'll link to on my website. If this was helpful, please like the video, and if you'd like more tips like this, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.